Hey, this is Cody Stahl.
And this is Aaron.
Thank you for dropping in and checking out Nerdcast, brought to you by Nerdcore Comics.
So we got Eternals, right?
Yeah, shockingly excited, because I was never, just like the comic books, they're not there a lot, but they're very important.
Yeah.
The Eternals, I had like a whole bunch of ideas for it, but if you think about it, we've seen the Deviant, we've seen a little bit of Deviants. They touched on Thanos, like, as you know, the Eternals, the Celestials showed up. They experimented. They made the Eternals basically, essentially, I know people call me out on this. Anyway, essentially, the Eternals were made to kind of protect mankind, and then they were like the Guardians, and then there's the Deviants, and they were kind of driven underground. They're basically, they all share a common answer. They're all human. They're experimenting on. That's what Celestials did. They're basically intergalactic scientists, and they did all this kind of stuff. So the Eternals is kind of I never liked the fact that they're going to say, oh, they hung back the whole time. It's let it go.
Right.
Because Thanos is a monster, with his mindset and how he wanted to do that stuff. And why didn't they step in? I think that's my only question. He's a deviant. That's what they look like. They're stronger. They're more for chaos. It's kind of like the Lords of Order and Chaos kind of thing. That's just what they go back and forth on.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to get some Thanos, or maybe young Thanos in the Eternals? Because I know they're saying that the Eternals, as they are in the movies, are going to be technically immortal.
I think they the Eternals, how looking back in the comics, they were made to basically be more godly. They can fly. They're pretty.
Right.
They're all super they're glowing, and they're cool. And they have cool names. They look attractive, stuff like that. And then you have the other side of that coin is the deviants, are monsters. They were driven underground. They're nuts. They're also tearing apart and taking back everything. And I'm so I honestly think, they almost have to show Thanos and stuff like that a little bit. But you think about it, Thanos' brother played a big part in everything too. Was he Starfox? Right. He was called. What was his name? Eros.
Eros. Yeah.
So I'm excited how deep they're going to go, but we can think about one thing. It's going to totally crack it wide open because they showed Celestials before using the Power Stone. I believe that was Celestial, a huge.
Yeah.
You put a staff down, so think about it, that's going to open up the universe and give us a little more insight on people like the Collector and the
right. Yeah, isn't the Collector in one of the Celestials? Isn't Nowhere one of the Celestials' heads or something like that? It's
in the head of a Celestial. Yeah, basically, it's in the head of a Celestial. So I think, if memory serves, but all that kind of stuff ties together because they said Collector, what was his name? The Grandmaster, those guys, they were all from really the eldest race, I think, so they were there, when it all happened. So I'm looking forward to getting that part of the universe done. So I was pretty excited about that, more so than anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of gonna remind me of how Guardians was, because I had heard of the Guardians. I even have maybe a handful of their comics, but I really wasn't up on them, So when they came to the big screen, I was like, oh, okay, Guardians. I know the name. I know some of the characters. Let's check it out. And it ended up being really cool. So I'm curious. They're probably gonna do the same thing with the Eternals, because I'll tell you what, I don't really know much about the Eternals at all, other than some of the points you just mentioned. So I'm curious to see how they do it, and if it's gonna become a movie that can be sequelized, will there be an Eternals 2? Or is this movie really just serving us to give us some backstory? Or will there be stories that spin out of it? And it probably will, because Guardians are kind of the unknown. They're kind of B/C, list heroes as far as the comics are going, go back, 10, 20 years, And now, because of the movies, so many people know about the Guardians of the Galaxy now. So I wonder if they're probably going to end up doing the same with the Eternals. I'm curious with, because the Eternals, they have some A-list actors. It's got a mix of A-list and B-list actors in there doing, Angelina Jolie is going to be in it. Selma Hayek is going to be in it.
I think they have if you've seen, this kind of unrelated but related, I think the Sprite is going to be in there, and he's forever stuck as a kid. And that kind of sucks. Because it kind of reminds me of on Netflix, Gerard Way's comic book Umbrella Academy. You remember the
Oh,
kid?
right, yeah.
He's like stuck his leg.
He's stuck like
I'm
that.
like, oh man. I'm like, and he was so cynical. I'm like,
Yeah.
mad because I think that's going to be kind of cool to see because he's like immortal. Yeah, essentially. So it's like he's immortal and he's just like probably like over it. And he's like a kid, so he's probably I just think it'd be kind of cool if he's like cynical and swearing and he has like all this like worldly like but he's like a kid.
Yeah, you know what I just thought? Can't they do Odin in the Eternals? Like, can we get like cameos from Odin possibly?
Yeah, because they know of each other. Like some of those people, like Odin, can definitely have like a strong presence. And but when it comes down to it, like you said, like you don't know much about it. A lot of
I
people
really
know
don't. Yeah.
Everything I'm saying about the Eternals is like memory serves. So it's like anybody like listening to this podcast can like pretty much tell you like, oh, like you're wrong. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and believe you.
Right.
Because it's like everybody just knows it from memory unless you do some like research, much like it. Eternals, I think it's like Kirby when he like made this stuff up. He made it up for DC. And he left. He like the New Gods and all that kind of stuff. He started pitching it. He didn't like the way Marvel was treating him. He went over to DC. He tried to pitch all this stuff. And then he's like, you know what? I'm out. He rolls back to Marvel and so the Celestials, the Eternals, and then he stretches stuff. So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
But DC still kept the New Gods and they rolled with that. They just didn't do as good a job, I think, I mean, think about it. We got Thanos. That's the deviant side. So obviously, we just have to play the other side of the coin. So I'm thinking it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Ironically enough, I know way more about the New Gods than I do the Eternals. I'm not sure. Maybe that's because
Darkseid's like every time it's like, oh, Darkseid's coming.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
So, yeah. So,
oh, and they got our dude from Game of Thrones in there. He played Robb Stark. I think it was Richard Madden. I think was the actor.
Yeah. He's I think he's going to be. Oh man, what was his name?
The Icarus.
Icarus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at the moment. I'll have to look it up, but I know Icarus is one of the characters that are being portrayed of the Eternals. But remember, they're not all there anymore. Like some of the Eternals didn't want to maintain like protection of like the humans. They thought they were like better and they shouldn't serve the humans. They should be worshipped. So they wanted to leave, and there was a couple of wars between everybody. And then like I remember the Celestials came back. The Deviants were like, nope, and like tried to attack them. And the Celestials just like spanked them, like, drove them like underground. That's why they ended up like some of them ended up on like Titan's moon, or the Titan, the Saturn.
Yeah, I was gonna say that rolls into the you know what I'm trying to say with
Inhumans?
Yeah, the Inhumans. Don't they kind of...
That's what they tried to do. Yeah, that's what they tried to do, because like Inhumans are basically like, everybody's like, okay, the reason like the Hulk, right, the Hulk, anybody else would get nailed with like a gamma punch to the face would just die. He'd like boil up and like die. No, why did he turn to the Hulk? That's because like early experimentation on like our shared common ancestors. So like from the deviants, so everybody's human.
Right,
like, so from the human, you got all that kind of stuff. That's what you're talking about. And humans is one of those changes.
Right.
That's why, like, when things happen to people like Spider-Man and things like that, it's like that's the reason they didn't die when it happened.
Yeah.
They became that because they just happened to have that gene. It was like experimental. That's how I think they like, kind of sell it to you.
Right.
So that's the reason for it. Inhumans are like, I think that was an overall failed experiment.
Yeah. It's a shame too, but I mean, it's not like we don't have enough to look forward to or in the past that we've had anyway, so.
Well, that about wraps it up. But if you still want more, which I hope you do, then drop us a like and subscribe to get weekly content. Peace.